Playboi Carti's way of promoting Whole Lotta Red has been so unorthodox that 99.9% of artists within hip-hop wouldn't be able to pull it off. Yo, what's good, man? This is Brokeboi, and happy holidays to everyone who has something to celebrate during the holidays. And today we're back with something a little bit different. So a few days ago, Playboi Carti dropped his long-awaited album, Whole Lotta Red, and today we're here to talk about it because it's getting a whole lot of attention. Now, for those of you who don't know, Carti actually announced the album back in August of 2018. Now, my math is horrible, but that's like 28 months. That's a whole lot of months. And for any artist to be able to sustain the hype for an album they announced 2 years ago, their marketing team must have been doing something right. They must know how to market an album. So today we're going to take a closer look at Playboi Carti's marketing strategy for Whole Lotta Red and see if there's anything we could take away from it as up-and-coming artists ourselves. Of course, if you enjoyed this video and really want to help me out with it, you should definitely hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. Now, regardless of what anyone thinks about Playboi Carti or if you like his music or not, I think it's fair to say that he's achieved a certain superstar status within the hip-hop community, with underground classics like Brokeboi, In the Mall by I Can See Your Bro, and Fetty, and mainstream hits like Woke Up Like This and Magnolia. I think it's fair to say that Playboi Carti has achieved a fair amount of things in a very short period of time, which has given him access to this, I guess, upper echelon of hip-hop. Now, in this superstar status, I like to include artists who are considered the top tier of hip-hop, if you will, when it comes to sales and success. Some examples of artists that have in this superstar status are Drake, Post Malone, Travis Scott, Uzi, Playboi Carti. So these artists are very different when it comes to their music. They sound very different from each other, but at the same time, they have some very common patterns when it comes to, let's say, their presence or social media, or the way they present themselves in interviews, or the things they talk about, or their marketing strategies. So I think we should definitely take a closer look at that and see if there's anything we can take away from that. Now, first things first, what I've noticed about this superstar group of artists within hip-hop is that their social media presence is very minimal. What they do is they're not very active on social media. You don't see them popping around on Instagram. You don't see them commenting on Academics' post or Worldstar or whatever. And they very rarely post themselves. Whenever they do post something, it's something very cryptic. And they usually don't follow a lot of people, or they have like one post on their account, or they have no post on their account. They don't write any captions. I don't know, they're very secretive and mysterious about their ways, which takes me to point number 2, which is whenever they do post something, they're always hyping something up. Now, the third point is that all these superstar artists are very distinct in their own ways. For example, Drake is considered this whole like diverse guy who can both make hits but also make like underground classics, whereas Post Malone is this like white dude with face tats who can really sing, and Playboi Carti is this like fashion dude who has the baby voice, and Lil Uzi Vert is a short kid with the obsession with anime. Like, they all have something they identify with and the way they present themselves, and this consistent image of them exists throughout their social media, throughout their interviews, throughout the way they present themselves. So they really carve out a very specific image of themselves, which people, I guess, gravitate towards. Now, you can have pretty big artists, but they're not superstar level because they're missing that detail that sets them apart from the rest. If you had to describe the differences between an Uzi and a Lil TJ, it'd be way easier to describe Uzi rather than describe Lil TJ. Or it'd be way easier to describe Post Malone rather than Rich the Kid. The audience just needs something to just latch onto. Now, if we take into account everything we've said about Playboi Carti and his status within hip-hop, you'll realize that a lot of the Whole Lotta Red marketing was actually done by itself. Playboi Carti didn't have to do much, he just had to add fuel to the fire. Mentioning certain details about this so-called album that was coming out back in like 2019, he mentioned that Virgil Abloh from Off-White was gonna be the creative director of the project, so I guess that kind of like, added some fuel to the fire. And then recently, right before the drop, there was like this whole graffiti incident where I guess some of his like people graffitied like Whole Lotta Red over like some billboards in California, or him mentioning Kanye West was going to be on there, or like posting pictures with the I guess the tank Kanye West gifted him, mentioning Kid Cudi's going to be on the album, given the leak he had with the track earlier throughout the year. So he definitely has a certain way of adding fuel to the fire, but at the same time, he doesn't really have to carry out this massive campaign to promote his album, because pretty much the actual promotion is happening by the people online or his fans, or even people who don't like his music or are not considered his fans, people bashing him. That's also part of his marketing. For example, he dropped merch with Whole Lotta Red that involved a bunch of, like, I guess, upside down crosses, and people were pissed. Like, people were going off. They were like, oh, this is satanic. Like, Playboi Carti sold his soul. Like, no, Playboi Carti is just marketing, he's promoting his up and coming album, which I guess like dropped the next day. But people were so riled up over the Satanic merch. So these are just like tiny ways to add fuel to the fire, which, well, I guess is the first week of the album, so it's expected to sell about 140K first week. So to summarize, what are some of the takeaways from the marketing strategies of Whole Lotta Red? Well, nothing. Playboi Carti's way of promoting Whole Lotta Red has been so unorthodox that 99.9% of artists within hip-hop wouldn't be able to pull it off. Try and imagine the Whole Lotta Red situation and replace the actual artist with Rich the Kid. Or even like someone bigger, Lil TJ, Cardi B. Would we be as hyped as when Playboi Carti dropped Whole Lotta Red? I don't think we would be. I think most people would have forgotten that Cardi B announced an album 2 years ago, or if Rich the Kid announced an album 2 years ago, no one would care. Everyone's over them by now. Unless you're an Uzi or a Travis Scott or a Post Malone, I highly suggest you keep posting music consistently across all platforms. Try and use all the features of the platforms, captions, hashtags, post consistently, engage with your audience, be as present as you can be online, because you're not Playboi Carti. And even the big artists within hip-hop are not Playboi Carti, which is why you'll see them be way more active within social media. They don't carry that kind of image, and they most certainly don't carry that kind of power on social media. So that's pretty much the end of the video. Let me know what you thought about the video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, just get in the comments. Let's start arguing in the comments, okay? I'll see you guys next time.